Bodhi Day. 2,500 years ago, um, Buddha sat under a tree. He was this wonderful, handsome young prince in search of enlightenment, in search of peace and harmony, and, and an endeavor to understand how to release this sense of suffering. And it was when he sat under this tree and in his time of spiritual practice, meditation, that he became enlightened. And in that enlightenment, he came up with the Four Noble Truths, which is an understanding of life and what leads to suffering and all of these things. And he also came up with the Eightfold Path. And that Eightfold Path is a way of living, a practice in terms of what it can do and how it can support us and how we can attain this thing we call liberation from that sense of suffering and living a life of wholeness. So that was a mouthful. The key point here is that these two events, they may have happened at different points in time. They may have unfolded at different points in the world, but we're all on the same path. And because we're on that same path, we always come to that space where we grow in our wisdom, our light, and our understanding. And so, as a consequence of that, today we're celebrating the light and embracing the light. We're embracing this light on one of the darkest points in the moon cycle. And so we're celebrating something extraordinary today. So I'd like to share a reading from you, and this comes from 365 Days of Science of Mind. And this one is on illumination. And it is written, it starts off with this Psalms 24:7. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. And it reads, the gates that we have to open represents the places in our consciousness where the divine flows into the human. The light that the saintly artists of medieval times painted around people, particularly the halo, represents the lifting up of these gates. Illumination, or cosmic consciousness, is a reality. This is what Jesus referred to when he said, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Today, I lift up my consciousness to the light, and I know the King of glory will come in. Today, I keep my inner light, this candle of the Lord trimmed and burning, for I know the bridegroom, who is Christ, my true self, will enter my consciousness. I know that there is a divine radiance emanating from everything. I know that this is the light which emanates from the very center of everything. There is no darkness at all. In this light, I shall see the light. There can and does not descend into our mind, embody and personify in our person a divinity, a unity, a spirit of God, the direct incarnation of the original thing in us, the mystical presentation of the Christ. And that is what we're celebrating when we talk about moving into the most popular holiday here in the Western world, which is Christmas. We're celebrating that new pattern, the new birth. And as we celebrate, we get to have a shower. And the shower is the gifts of love, the gifts of peace, the gifts of good. And that good unfolds in our lives in rich and very powerful ways. So enough of me being on my soapbox. Why don't we just turn within and move into prayer right now? And as we turn within and we move into prayer right now, I'm just acknowledging that wonderful light, that wonderful presence that always has been and always will be. It is that divine enlightenment that has unfolded many, many years ago when the Maccabees moved into that place and took a stand for truth and justice and good for all. They took that stand, and in that same space, what I know is the intention and the celebration of the principles and the light and the truth of that divine spirit that dwells within us. It created that space of good, and I'm acknowledging it right now. I'm acknowledging that same energy and that vibration at another point in this thing we call life, another point in the world, when this young man, this young prince, went out on a sacred journey. And that sacred journey was to discover, to grow, to expand, and live a life anew in a new and a more powerful way. That which would touch all of humanity. And in this quest, we acknowledge that divine enlightenment that took place by simply sitting in that space, looking up and focusing on that divine light which is everywhere, in everything, and at every point. So in this very moment, I acknowledge it, the wisdom, that source of illumination. I'm acknowledging the sacred presence and the wisdom. And I'm acknowledging that vibration that always has been and has fulfilled itself in humanity, that has inspired us and blessed us. And I am open, I am receptive, and I know that that same energy is fully present in this moment, and it is the divine fulfillment right where I am. It is right where every single person is that is listening to this prayer. Their ears are perched and open, and what I know is something divine, something even greater than we cannot even imagine, has created the path of enlightenment, has created the path where the oil of spirit runs and flows and expands itself for all of eternity. And in this great awareness right here, right now, what I know is something divine has ignited itself, and it is that divine light that has already gone before and prepared the way as perfect wisdom and perfect good. It is that divine light overflowing. I know that it is love, it is joy, it is peace, and it is harmony. I know that it is the divine awareness. And in this awareness, I know that each and every one that is hearing this prayer and anyone that comes into our consciousness are awakened at a deeper level. They are blessed at a deeper level. And I know that the inner sight of spirit expands and articulates itself and fulfills itself through each individual. I know that each and every one of us are used as good, as strength, as awareness, as that power of truth. And it is this truth that allows us to experience the freedom and the joy of living. And I know that this wonderful energy fulfills itself in practical ways. So whatever is going on right here, right now, expanding or fulfilling itself, what I claim and know is that that divine light has already moved into those areas, organizing and adjusting itself and expanding itself and fulfilling itself. It is mirroring itself, its perfect truth and perfect wisdom. And I'm claiming that wonderful energy as this vibration moving and expressing itself for everyone that hears my word. And that right here, there is a quickening of spirit, a quickening of the divine, where that divine transcends itself as perfect wisdom and perfect good. And I know that it has transcended itself right now within each and every individual's life, that there is perfect health overflowing and radiating within every part and at a cellular level within the body temple. And I know that as it unfolds and fulfills itself within that body temple, I know that within the spiritual body, in the mental body, there is the presence of perfect love in action. And it is that perfect love that is the healing force that has moved and adjusted itself and created the space of that perfect good to expand itself, discern itself, reveal itself, and serve itself, bringing forth fulfillment, bringing forth more and more goodness and more richness in this thing we call life. So what I know is this blessing of spirit has already anointed itself and expanded itself, and it's expressing itself right now. And I claim it as divine prosperity. I claim it as perfect wholeness. I claim it as the richness of love, fortified and overflowing within every single relationship. I know that this divine light brings peace of mind and harmony. I know that this divine light shines forth in practical ways. I know that this divine light is the joy of living. And what I know about this divine light is it is the pattern of truth, it is the pattern of wisdom, and it is this pattern that has created a space of perfect good. So I'm in gratitude right now. I'm grateful for the divine expanding itself. I'm grateful for the practical expression. I'm grateful because I know that there is a richness of spirit, and it is fulfilling itself right now in practical ways within my life, fulfilling every single need, everything that is necessary, the ways and means fulfill itself and shows up. But what I know is it mirrors itself within everyone and everything I have ever known, within everyone and everything that I have ever come into contact, within everyone and everything that will fulfill themselves and bring forth this truth right now in consciousness. And what I'm knowing is in this consciousness, in this awakened state, in this joyful state, I know that good is overflowing, that the richness of spirit is alive and thriving, and it thrives at every point and every reference within my experience, within every interaction. And I'm knowing that this loving presence, this joyful presence, radiates truth throughout all of humanity, bringing forth unlimited good, unlimited richness, and that space of wholeness where we celebrate the goodness of life. We celebrate the joy of life, and we celebrate the rising up of good within everyone and everything we come into contact with. We know this all as perfect, and we know it as good. So I release these words right now into the action of the law, knowing that it is already fulfilled its word, its spoken truth, its revelation of wisdom. And so it is in this space that I release this sacred essence into the action of universal law, knowing that it is already done. It is already complete. And I'm inviting you to join me by simply saying, and so it is. Amen. Amin. Ashe. Aho. We know these words have power, and they have touched all of life. And so I'm inviting you right now, if you haven't opened your eyes, to just gently open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, I want you to look around you. Look at the beauty around you. I'm looking at this beautiful angel here. I call her Nia. She's been with me for many, many years. And I'm looking at all the other radiance of good and the joy of good. And so I'm giving thanks for your presence. And I want you to have a blessed day. I hope this prayer has made a difference in your life. And if you like what we're doing, you'll notice there is a phone number running across the screen, and it says text to donate. So if you like what we're doing in this ministry, we invite you to join us and support us. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Namaste.